So much to talk about. So first off, just want to say congratulations, Victorious, the most added song at rock radio. That's awesome. That's got to be a
Thank
great
you.
feeling for that song with you and Dorothy. That song in particular, you dedicate to people with self doubt, and you even said imposter syndrome, which I totally feel that. Is that something in your career that you still wrestle with?
Absolutely. Every day, all the time. Um, I think it's more common and prevalent than people realize. And I think talking about it is the only way to get it out there that a lot of people suffer with this and struggle with this. When we've been doing this song live, I have a singer on this tour, Casey Carlson, and she says, "Put your hand up if you have ever felt like you're not good enough." And when I tell you every hand in the room goes up, I mean, every hand that's not holding a phone goes up. And it's like you look around and you really feel less alone. You realize that it's not just you that goes through these things. And I think that's a big part of what we do as artists.
Yeah. The video itself too was really, it seemed like it captured your vision. Like even now, you said the posters on the wall, like you had those are the posters that you had on the wall. How was that for you, like to kind of create this vision and like the world of video and stuff? Is that something that's kind of a new concept for you to kind of take that aspect of the business?
Yeah, it was really cool. I think that was my first narrative video ever. Usually we really just stick to performance video.
Yeah.
And this time around, we just wanted to tell a little bit more of the story, and sort of show a little bit of Dorothy's background, a little bit of my background, and then Michaela Mayer, who is a longtime friend of mine, we wanted to sort of tell a bit of her story as well, just to illustrate that like all different walks of life, all different industries, people experience the same thing.
Yeah. It was cool, like being a part of your clinics that you've done over the years and hearing some of your story, then seeing the little girl in a room and just kind of completed another portion of that story. I could kind of see you there jamming, getting it together, and leading on the path that you've shared with us. So that was very cool. Um,
Totally. And that's, by the way, the little girl in that video is Charlotte Milstein, who I fully expect to be the next guitar sensation when she's a little older.
nice. We'll keep an eye out for that for sure. That's cool.
Yeah.
Um, Get me here. I got to put on my old man glasses here. Um, Victoria's obviously a track from the upcoming record called The Void. You've talked about in some other interviews you've done about how this record is a lot different for you than Chaos was. I'm just curious how it pushed you as a writer and as a just you kind of take the bull by the horns and then you do. So how was this more of a challenge and what aspects for you? And how do you think you grew from making this record?
I think that I was really able to approach this record from a more well thought out standpoint. Um, where Controlled Chaos, it was very chaotic. I didn't want anybody in the room with me. I had nobody tracking with me. I produced and engineered everything myself. I was watching YouTube videos, figuring out how to record drums, all of these things. And now that I got that out of my system, I think I was just able to approach this one from a better standpoint. I think it's a more, excuse me, a bit more of a complete record. It just makes a little bit more sense. The songs are more felt thought out and structured instead of just sort of like, here's my raw emotion, in a song.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it has a lot more maturity, which is, it's a natural progression.
Yeah, yeah, and it definitely should. You don't want to stay the same. So uh, I guess my question too in the songwriting process, like, do you kind of go into a song and you think, all right, I think like when you're writing Victorious, do you think, okay, this is going to be a vocal track. This is going to be something going to have some vocals on, so I need to like structure it a little bit different, or is it kind of like when it's done, you're like, I think this would be better to have vocals on it?
Oh, I mean, for me at least, there's a huge difference between writing an instrumental song and a vocal song. So it was planned out from the very beginning of the song. We know this one is going to be a vocal song. We're writing for a powerhouse female vocalist, whether it's someone like Dorothy or Lizzie Hale or Lilith Sarr, so you have to really write in a specific direction because once you're writing for that vocalist, you have to keep, their vocal range in mind, their cadence in mind. If it's going to go to radio, how long is the song? It can't be too long, can't be too short. So there's a lot more constraints on writing the vocal songs or the instrumental songs. It can be in any tuning, any key. It can be 1 minute, it can be 10 minutes, and just gives you a little more freedom to do what you want.
Sure. I know too that like a song like you gave to David Draymond, you kind of gave that off to him, and he turned it into he put his definitive mark on it, which is it's got to be kind of cool to like to hand something off and to get it back and be like, wow.
Yeah, what just happened?
Yeah, but do you find yourself now like thinking about lyrics now? Are you considering yourself more of a lyricist? And how does that evolution coming for you of thinking about lyrics? Is that something that you want to embrace more, or is it something you want more like the artist to take care of?
I guess a little of both. I definitely don't consider myself a lyric writer. I do like words. I like to write. Um, but I think that my writing is a little better in the prose form, like I like to write stuff like, like my social media posts or blog posts or maybe a future book, essays or something like that. I have a bit of a hard time with the constraints of the lyric writing personally. There has to be so many syllables, this has to rhyme with that, and so forth. Like there are so many people that are so much better at it than me. But I did enjoy being a part of the lyric process for some of the songs. I do look forward to getting better at it over the years.
Cool, very cool. Like I said, the record is coming July 7th, and what we've heard already has been fantastic. What are you most excited about people hearing? Is there whether it be a track or whether it just be what on July 7th? Where are you going to be the most um, what's what I'm looking for rewarded about when people hear this record?
I'm just excited that it's actually going to be out in the world. Like I've been doing the album press. I've been hearing from people that have heard the songs, that have heard the record, and it's like it's this it's this weight that I've been carrying around. We started making this record over 2 years ago. I've been finished playing guitar on it for over a year. So it's just almost a surreal feeling to finally just like get it out. Like it's going to feel like setting it free, like
Yeah,
releasing it into the world and setting it free and letting that weight be something that I'm not carrying anymore and like letting everybody hear what we've worked so hard on and put so much thought and time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears into.
nice, nice. I know everybody's really looking forward to it. There's a lot of buzz, and like especially when you get the vocalists that you have on here, it's just taking it to a whole other level. So I know the buzz is exciting, and the as a music fan, my goodness, the vinyl variants that you put out and the packages that you're putting out, it makes it even so much more exciting. It's beautiful. I mean, the packaging of the vinyl, which I'm a vinyl guy, obviously. So that's exciting too that you go that extra step. I mean, black vinyl is always cool, but when you get something like that, it's just amazing. So it's
Yeah,
well
and
thought out.
it's amazing looking in person. I just saw it for the first time last week. It is incredible looking in person. Like I personally am not a vinyl person. Like
Mhm.
I actually wasn't. If you remember, because I know you've been around since the very beginning, Tony. Like I don't know if you remember this, but we weren't even going to do vinyl for Controlled Chaos. Like I didn't realize there was a demand for it. And then when we did the Kickstarter and we hit our goal, Kickstarter allows you to keep adding perks. And I was like, what do you guys want me to add? And across the board, it was vinyl.
Yeah,
Like, we sold out of, I think it was 500 Kickstarter vinyls, 500 pre-order vinyls, like, numbers that I would have never even dreamed that people wanted,
yeah,
and now we sold out of triple that, in pre-order
yeah,
for the new record. And it's just so cool because I may not be a vinyl listener myself, but I love physical media. I love the having something tangible in your hand to hold, to
right.
bring to a meet and greet, to have it signed and not just listen on Spotify or streaming. So I love that it's happening. This resurgence is happening the way it is.
Yeah. And that Jiva variant was sick. That was awesome.
So nice, right? Did you get
Yeah,
one?
I did not. No, I missed out on it.
Uh,
But yeah, but like,
Brutal.
yeah, those were sick. So that's very cool.
Yeah. If it makes
Um,
you feel any better, I didn't get one either.
oh, what?
Yeah,
Man,
I have a bad habit of putting everything, all of our stock as available and not keeping stuff back for myself.
yeah. Well, if the day ever comes, you could probably like work out a trade or something with somebody if you ever decide,
Let's
something
hope.
like that. Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Um, all right. So, Summer Storm Tour, day two last night, Atlanta, Nashville, Atlanta, two great places to kick off a tour.
Yes.
How's the vibe the first two shows?
It's been a little chaotic. The first week of tour is always a little insane. We've got a new production out here, new songs, new lights. We have a vocalist for the first time. So we've had some growing pains the first few days, but we are having a great time on stage. And that I think is the hallmark for if it's going well or not, because you can have a tour where everything goes smoothly and you just hate every second of it.
Yeah.
And, for us, this band and crew that I have, we thrive in chaos. Like we eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day. So,
Like it.
we're used to it. We get to the venue in Atlanta and there's an airport nearby and none of the RF is working for the wireless and the in-ears and everything. And it's just like, okay,
Yeah.
how can we pivot? How can we make it work? There's no chance of us canceling or postponing or anything. Like we'll find a way to power through and make that kind of thing work. So it's been chaotic, but we're having a great time.
Nice. I remember, I think it was last year, you guys were opening some dates for Zach Wild.
Yes.
And it was Lexington, Kentucky, and Zach, I think, had lost his voice, and it was like, I have to tell everybody the show's been canceled. And you guys stepped up, and I could kind of see the conversations and stuff going on. And man, you guys stepped up and saved the day on that one big time. I know everybody was so happy to see a solo set from you.
It was fun,
Yeah.
and that was the thing. Like we were there, we were set up, fans were in line. Like,
Yeah.
why shouldn't we play? I think that, because they postponed the show to a later date. I don't even think that Jared and myself, Jared James Nichols was on the tour as well. Jared played a full set. I played a full set. I don't even think we got paid for that day because the show was being postponed to a later day. But at the end of the day, like we had fans there, we had merch there. Why wouldn't we take care of the people that came there to see us? And that's what it's all about. That's the bottom line, is you have to take the best care of your fans as you can.
Definitely were the hero that night, I know for sure.
Thank you.
Talking about the tour, you kind of touched on a little bit too. Having Casey on board, from what I've heard already, I saw the video of you guys doing Cowboys from Hell last night. And that's a song right there that is kind of like, you have to wait. That's going to prove a vocalist. So when she started in on the verse on that, I was like, all right, she's the real
She's got
deal.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's talk a little bit about bringing her into the fold and what it was, because I'm sure there were a lot of options and things like that. What it was that, like, yeah, this is our girl.
Yeah, I mean, you would think there would be a lot of options, but actually, when you really boil down to it, like, and look at what I need in a vocalist, there are not a lot of singers out there that can do it. I have male vocalists, I have female vocalists, I have growls, I have soaring high notes, and clean singing. And I was just tearing my hair out thinking about who I was going to have come and sing, because I think we've graduated to the point now as a band where we need a vocalist on stage. We can't do it with the backing track anymore because there are so many vocal songs out.
Yeah.
And we were like, who are we going to get that does this? And then we saw Casey on social media, and she is just, I call her the transformer, because she can do any voice, any key, any type of scream. She can emulate the In Flames scream. She can do the Phil Anselmo scream. She can do the Elisa Whiteglass screams and cleans, which is not something I thought I would find in another single vocalist.
Yeah.
So she really can do it all. This is her first tour ever, which is crazy. She's 20 years old, first time on the road, first time off of the East Coast in her life. And she's so dynamic on stage. She's note perfect, and we're loving performing with her.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Like I said, that video, Cowboys from Hell, man, I was already excited about the show. And I'm like, oh man, pumped. So
I'm glad to hear it, especially because as you now heard, we had no monitors last night. So I'm glad it sounded good.
Hey,
we had no in-ears.
Yeah, rock and roll, right?
Absolutely.
But you guys are going to be rolling into town here in Cincinnati next week, the 21st at Blue Note.
Nice.
And we're going to be promoting that show. Anything you want to tell the people right now about what to expect, or anything just about the live show? If you could talk to people of Cincinnati right now, what do you want them to know?
Yeah, very excited to come back to the Blue Note. We had a great show there last year, or was it maybe 2 years ago? No, just about me.
Yeah.
Last time we were there, we had a great show. The last time we were there, we actually didn't have the full band with us. We had some people that had to leave the tour still during the pandemic. So we are just so excited to give you guys the full experience this time. We are so excited to bring the full band, full production, full show, and give you guys the show that you deserve. So thank you for having us back.
Nice. Yeah, I remember that show because the VIPs, they were, you did everything you could do. They were distant. And I was looking at the
Mhm.
VIP pictures now. It was so cool to see you there with the fans. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
great that we've gotten to move on a little bit. So
That's what it's all about. You know,
yeah.
it's as soon as we could safely, and the reason why we did the social distancing for so long is because I was still going back and forth with the Alice Cooper camp
Mhm.
and they had very strict COVID protocols. So the last thing that I could do was have them see me in meet and greet photos with, 60 people a night. And
Right.
then I go right into their camp. And then if someone gets sick, everyone's going to look at me. So I had to be respectful of them during that time.
Yeah.
But now things have opened up, everything's good, and we can do back to our normal meet and greets.
Yes. Um, Talking too about health issues. How's the knee doing? I know you had surgery and had awesome care there, but how's it feeling now that you're out, doing your thing?
It's better and better every single day. I've been diligent with my rehab, very diligent with my exercises. So just trying to stay consistent on that now that I'm on a bit more of a grueling tour. The Alice and Demi tours were a little easier on it. My tours are very hard on your body. We do
Hmm.
a lot of shows in a row. We don't have a lot of days off. We don't have a lot of hotel rooms. So just trying to stay consistent with my supplements, taking my omega-3s, my joint repairs, my collagen, and doing my exercises. I have a little space here. You can see we've got our dogs here on the bus, and then I have a little space back here where I can, set up a yoga mat and do my stretches and stuff like that. So just really trying to stay consistent with it.
Nice, nice. I'm glad it's doing better.
Thank you.
Um, One thing you did touch upon too, and I wanted to ask you about was, obviously you stepped out of your comfort zone and did the tour with Demi, and I have to think that was a different dynamic than like a tour with Alice, because obviously Alice's tour is like nothing else, and then Demi does her own thing. What did you pick up from that? How did that kind of maybe change your approach a little bit going into this tour? Did you pick up any tips or anything maybe different to think, okay, maybe we could try this or try that?
I'm not sure what tips, a lot of these bigger tours, they run pretty similarly,
Okay.
so it wasn't as different, I think, as a lot of people expected that it would be.
Yeah.
If I had stepped into, Demi Lovato 2015 or 16, and she was the full on, pop star that she was, I think it would have been different. But she hired me and the girls in the band because she wanted to be in an all girl rock band. I
Yeah.
think that was something she said night after night on stage. She's like, I always dreamed about being in an all female rock band, and now I am.
Yeah.
And so we went out there and we did a rock show. It was
Yeah.
like any other rock tour I've ever done. We had a wonderful time. Demi is a generational talent, such a voice, such a performer, and she has a great band and crew around her. And really, I mean, what I take from all of these big tours that I have the opportunity to do when I come on a tour like mine is we run our small tour like a big tour. We take as good of care of people as we can, even though we don't have the budgets of the bigger tours.
Sure.
We take good care of people. We do after show food. We do what's called bus stop, which means like we will have people's requests on the bus if people like a certain type of coffee creamer, or we'll have sandwich stuff and this and that. So people don't have to go out and fend for themselves, every single meal of every day. Just taking as good of care of your team as you can.
Nice. Nice. So you said too, you're doing, your solo tour, you got the Alice tour, but that's not enough for you. You never shy away from anything. You just shared a picture of going to the Rams facility, so it's safe to assume you're going to be doing the NFL this upcoming season for the Rams.
Oh, they'll have to drag me out of that by my feet. I love that gig so much. It's a grueling one as well. It's a lot of flying for me. Usually I'm on the road during the season, so I have to fly in and out same day to perform at the games, but it is so much fun. It
Yeah,
is such a great time, hyping up the team, the players, the fans. It's like no other experience I've ever had.
that's awesome. That's awesome. And then on top of that, you're doing the body shred again, which is awesome.
Yes.
Just kind of, I've experienced it, and um,
Oh.
I kind of know what it's about, but like, what makes you want to do that for people like myself and the people that are involved? What makes you want to do that? Because obviously you don't have to. You got enough on your plate, but why do that?
Our community has given so much to me, and there's there's not a lot of ways I can give back aside from just doing what I do, playing music. But getting healthier and getting my mental and physical fitness in a better place has done so much for me. I really wanted to pass that along to our community. I wanted people to experience what I experienced, getting healthier and getting fitter, having more energy throughout the day, to whether you're on tour or whether you just want more energy to play with your kids or get through your work or whatever it is, everybody can benefit from this. And if I could bring it to our community in a more accessible way where it's not just somebody on an Instagram in a matching tracksuit, doing exercise you don't know about, but like, this is us, this is our community. We're sharing our, rock workout playlists, and we're, encouraging each other when, pick each other up when we fall down. And it's been a great experience. Body Shred has changed my life, I think, more than it's changed any of the participants.
That's awesome. And it's really cool to see people there that were there from day one. The first shred, they're still there. Exactly. And that's always cool to see. Mm-hmm. I saw that, I'm going to forget names. I know Bobby was the young son. I saw him at a show with them.
Beth, yes.
Yeah, Beth and Bobby. So that was really cool to see them in the VIP, the meet and greet and everything. So
yeah, I saw them last night.
Yeah, Shred family represent. I love that. The people who were there from the beginning and still there. So it is.
Oh, we had a few OGs there last night. Champ was there. Beth was there. And I get to know everybody, not every single person, but I get to know so many people, like literally by name. And I can ask them how their journey's going. Some people are also on their own sobriety journey, and I can communicate with them about that. And just having that opportunity to work a little bit more closely with people, because sometimes what I do is a little bit separated. And so having the opportunity to have a smaller group, I think there's 600 and change in the Body Shred group. There's 700,000 on my Instagram, so I can't keep up with everyone on there, but I can do a pretty good job of keeping up with it in Body Shred. I love that part of it.
That's awesome. I think it's funny because the first time I ever met you, you had a t-shirt on that said, "I got kicked out of yoga class."
That's a good shirt.
Yeah. So, that was early on too. That was that first tour with Motley.
Wow. Yeah. I
promise.
now I just go to the yoga class.
That's right. Now you lead it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So really excited about the solo stuff coming up. Also, you're going to be a part of another record we just found out yesterday, and we kind of knew it was coming, but we got the official word yesterday about the new Alice record. We heard the new song from it, I'm Alice, and then we got to hear the first track. But in some of the interviews, Alice had talked about how important it was for him to make a record with the current touring band, yourself, Ryan, Chuck, Glenn, Tommy, obviously. I mean, not everybody gets to do that. Alice has played with a lot of people, and he does a studio record, and he has studio musicians, things like that. What does that mean for you to get that call? Like, I want you to be on this record.
It's very surreal, honestly. I've been playing in Alice's band almost a decade, and I think we, as the current touring band, have a very good sense of not only what Alice likes, what he likes to sing over, what he sings really, really well, what he has fun with, but we have a good sense of what the fans like, what the fans react to, what goes over well on stage. So this is an album written on the road, recorded while we were on the road, and meant to be played live. So definitely can say with some good certainty, I haven't heard anything about this, but I would be shocked if a lot of these songs didn't make it into the live set because they're so much fun.
Yeah. Just that first track has that just awesome sound to it. So I can't wait to hear the rest of it. And then, like you said, to see it live. Are you on I know there's going to be a DVD that's attached to it from Hellfest 2022. Were you still touring with them then, or had you gone to Demi yet?
I was, yeah. That was that was the Europe tour before I started with Demi. So it'll be interesting to see that one. It was raining. The stage was very slippery, so it'll be interesting to see how the DVD turned out.
Nice. All right, just a couple more, I promise, and I'll let you go. Anything new in the Jiva front? I know you put out some really cool variants of the Jiva. I think the last one was maybe Ghost. Is that correct?
Yes, the Jiva X Ghost has just finally started shipping. Oh, thank you so much. We've got coffee delivery over here.
Hey, Josh.
Tony says hi. Tony Super says hi.
Oh, hey, how are you?
Hey, man.
Phew. I forgot I had my earbuds. Thank you so much. New Jivas. So the Jiva X Ghost has just finally started shipping. It came out not this NAMM, but actually the previous NAMM. So it's been about a little over a year, almost a year and a half in the making, finally starting to go to their new homes. So I'm not gonna announce anything new. I have some ideas in the works, but I'm not gonna go for anything new until those are like well on their way, and people that have pre-ordered have gotten them.
Sounds good. All right, and finally, I'll just do one more here and let you enjoy your coffee and some downtime. But one of the things,
Like I said,
well,
I've got another 2 hours here, so
maybe a couple minutes.
I'm all good.
But one of the things that I just, like I said, the things we talked about, like a new record, a new tour, the Alice record, Body Shred, Rams, you just constantly go. And I know that that's one of the things I really admire about you and watching your career. And as a person that, I have aspirations to do things, but I know that I just, some days I just get tired and like, I'm like, I just don't know how I can do it. And I'm sure there's days like that for you. What is it that keeps Nita going? What keeps you going? What is on those days when you say, I don't want to, that makes you do it? Good answer.
A lot of coffee. Um, Honestly, I have those days a lot. I had that day this morning. I have had a lot of days in the past year where I just told Josh I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. Last week, a week before this tour started, I had a melt. I was sitting crying in a Target parking lot, thinking like, I don't even know if we can get this tour off the ground. There's just so many logistics, so expensive. Like everything. And in those moments, I think about all of the years that I spent working to get to this point. Hoping and praying for an opportunity like this. Every time I have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning to go to the airport to fly to LA, play a Rams game, and then Uber straight back to the airport, get on a 12 a.m. flight, fly into a show day and play a show that night. It's easy to think like, well, I'm tired. This sucks. I don't want to do this. But if you would have told little Nita, hey, would you have a couple sleepless nights to go and play in front of 70,000 people in your hometown? Like, of course, it's a no-brainer. Of course you would. So you just have to remember your journey, remember what got you there in the first place. And then it becomes easy. Then it becomes easy to kind of tough it out and realize how lucky you are. I would say it's kind of cliche, but if you have an attitude of gratitude, everything becomes easier.
I like it. I like it. Well, thank you for keep going. Thank you for constantly keep going. You do inspire us. Like I said, if anybody's ever been to one of your guitar clinics, like I don't play guitar, I wish I did, but like you walk out with so much, and I appreciate that you share that aspect of your life with us as well as your talent. So truly appreciate everything. I'm so excited for you. I'm excited about the new record, the tour, and just
Thank
everything
you.
else that I know you're going to do this year. So
Thank you so much. And we'll see you in Harrison.
absolutely. I will see you then.
Excellent. Talk
All
to you
right. Take
soon.
care. Bye bye.